Is your stress causing your baby to be colic? In this episode, we unpack colic and how to overcome those ear-piercing challenges.
Welcome to Thriving with Chiropractic, where Dr. Mosier from Mosier Family Chiropractic shares a variety of topics designed to empower, inspire, and give hope. Take a few notes and enjoy the lesson.
Hey everybody, it's Ellen here with Dr. Mosier, and for Thriving with Chiropractic this week, we are talking about something that's very common amongst babies. Sometimes older men. No, I'm just kidding. We are going to be talking about colic. So that's something very familiar, especially to the mommy of the household, because she's likely to be the one up with the child and struggling with those long, sleepless, and restless nights. And sometimes daddy will pitch in there too. But Doc, what is like the definition of colic?
Well, this is actually really interesting, and I have to look at my notes because by definition, it lasts 3 hours.
Okay.
3 days a week.
Okay.
3 weeks of the month. It is the diagnosis of threes.
Okay. So when you go to your medical physician and you're expressing with them your concern and yourself probably diagnosing colic, this is what they're going to be basing their diagnosis off of.
Absolutely. And the typical time frame is they start to cry, unconsolable, usually in the afternoon, more in the evening, and it actually happens to 1/4 of the children today.
Okay, so like a quarter of children.
Yeah. Now they commonly say that it's due to abdominal pain, which then what is causing that abdominal pain? It could be hyperactive colon, it could be colon spasms, things like that. But it's really interesting diet.
I wonder if people weigh in, especially if you're either formula fed or breast milk fed, well, that's the only thing they're eating per se, right? Kind of. So fill us in. What are they actually eating when they're drinking those?
So colic is more common. It can be done in breastfed babies, but it's more common in formula, especially formula that is dairy-based, cow's milk based.
Okay.
And the reason why there's allergies, which, for instance, you eat a bag of peanuts and you swell up like a balloon and you go to the hospital, right? That's an allergy. Food sensitivities is something that even our infants can deal with, and it's a food that it inflames them and things don't process quite right. Most common being gluten, dairy, egg, soy, things like that. But in these cases, dairy is a big one.
Okay.
So if you're formula feeding a baby, probably move away from the cow's milk, maybe go into goat's milk or soy or something like that. But breast milk, now there's an interesting topic on that one.
Okay. Does it have anything to do with what the mother's eating?
Yes.
Oh. How did I know?
It literally has everything to do with that.
Right.
So, is the mom drinking cow's milk?
Okay.
Because that could inflame the baby, because what you eat goes to baby. Spicy foods.
It's a good thing I don't like spicy foods, because...
This is true. Or caffeine. So chocolate or caffeinated items.
So should a mother who's breastfeeding completely avoid these foods altogether? Or just when you're getting the symptoms of what would be considered colic?
Well, I'm a big fan of the proactive approach.
Okay.
So I would recommend avoiding those foods.
Okay.
There is one thing. Well, let's give a suggestion first before I dive into the most interesting part of this.
Okay.
So as a massage therapist, would you recommend massage for a colicky baby?
Well, yeah, I would.
Yes. Because you can actually massage the colon. And actually, do you care to show us how you would do that?
Well, our intestines are, while there may be a lot of it, it is crammed uniquely and in a functional way. So if you think of our tummy area as quadrants, you've got 4 quadrants, right? If you put your first quadrant in your lower right, if you're thinking about your own body, lower right, and then you're going to go up to your upper right, then you're going to move over to your left, upper left, and then down to your lower right. If I can talk clearly. You would then want to massage in that same fashion. Now, are we talking deep tissue massage? No. It's more or less rubbing your baby's tummy in that pattern. So you're going to think of a small box and just go to those 4 quadrants. And ironically enough, and I've done this before, you can actually, if you're doing it right and you're feeling the right things, you can actually help assist in physically moving some of those byproducts out of their system and getting that to help jumpstart them and getting them out of their discomfort, because the only way a baby knows to communicate with us is through, unfortunately, crying. They can't talk.
Which is piercing to your ears. As soon as our boys cry, it is like you are in high alert mode.
Yeah, I'm freaking out. Like, there is something wrong. They're never crying for a positive reason here.
And I'm more of, oh, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I guess there's a difference between mom and dads.
Yeah.
Now
just a little.
On the chiropractic side, there's 2 things that I really like to work on when we're seeing a baby that's suffering with colic.
Okay.
The sacrotuberous ligament, which is right across your backside. Okay.
Across my butt.
Yes.
Wonderful.
But by stimulating that ligament, pulling it back so it doesn't have so much pressure on the sacrum, that can actually help their large intestine and relax.
Right. So what I like to talk about with that is something fun that a parent could even do at home, just as an experiment from watching this video, is putting the baby on their tummy, right?
Yes.
And pull their diaper down,
Yes.
so where you can see their cute little butt cheeks. And then you're going to squeeze them, right?
Yes.
And their gluteal line, or their butt crack, is either going to go straight up perfectly, or it's going to go to the left or to the right. So if it veers off to the left or the right, correct me if I'm wrong, then you know that you need to really address that sacrum complex.
Yes. Now the other key area is actually the opposite end of the spine. Okay. It's at the top bone of the neck. See, the top bone in the neck, that's where the housing of the vagus nerve is. And the vagus nerve can affect the entire GI tract.
Okay.
So you get the polar ends on these infants, and when we adjust these infants, the results are outstanding. Now, are you ready for the most interesting thing that I found in our research of colic?
Go for it.
It is in all the research, the most number one thing that will cause colicky: anxious parents.
Why?
You're like, literally, parents' anxiety can lead to colicky. Now, there's energies, so to speak. You can feel someone is stressed.
Well, I was gonna say, if I'm ever stressed, you definitely feel it, and I don't even have to say a word to him. I think our boys are the same way. They're like, "Oh, stay away from mom. She's freaking out over there."
Yes, but your baby, there's such a bond, and there's an even stronger bond between the baby and the mom, because, well, the baby is inside you for 9 months.
Right.
It feels everything, every heartbeat, every breath that you take. So there's a bond. So the baby knows that there's tension in the household. The baby knows that you're anxious, which then makes them anxious, which then throws their spine out.
Right. Yep. So that's just something for parents, and sometimes it takes some self-care, to take a time away from the baby and to maybe come and get a massage or do a foot detox or go get your nails done, get your hair done, something that kind of helps you reset as a parent, because I found myself not resetting, and then I wonder why our boys are bouncing off the walls and things just don't seem grounded and normal or like they should.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, folks, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Thriving with Chiropractic.
If you found value in this video, please comment and let us know your biggest takeaway. We also ask that you don't keep this information to yourself. We ask that you share it with your friends and family